Hello, welcome to Windy Hill. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. There's a button down below. Just hit it, it'll subscribe you, and then you'll get every video notification. If you ring the notification bell, that is. You'll get notifications when I upload a new video, and you'll be able to see what's going on each week. Today I thought we'd talk a little bit about the egg. And storing of eggs, how long an egg is good for, if it's refrigerated, if it's not refrigerated. And I thought we would talk about long range storing of eggs in a non-refrigerated atmosphere. I know God forbid, we lost power here in the United States and we didn't have any electricity, how would you store an egg for 8 months? Would that be possible to do? And actually, it is possible to do. Most of us would perish within the first week because we wouldn't be able to text anybody or get on Facebook or Instagram. So there would be very few of us left, I think, who actually would need to eat the egg. But anyway, I'll get to how to store it later. I'd like to look at some eggs and that I've put away in the refrigerator for since May 5th. Actually, they've been in the refrigerator. They were kind of off and on in the refrigerator for a while because I used them as my display eggs at the market. But we're going to crack one open. We're going to do a float test. And a float test, if you've ever done one and put an egg in there to see if it floats or not, that gives you a good idea of whether the egg is good or bad. But in a general idea, basically it's telling you that egg is old. Doesn't mean that it's really bad, although possibly could be. But until you crack it open and look at it, smell it, you really don't know if that egg is bad or not. So let's get started, and we'll see what we come up with these eggs. Okay, so the science experiment begins. First, let's look at an egg that is a fresh egg. So this is a fresh egg. This is how a fresh egg should react when you put it in water. It will sink directly to the bottom and just hang out there. So that is a fresh egg. That you know it's fresh. Or it's full of concrete, one of the two. Next, we'll look at an egg that's from my science experiment from May 5th. This is an egg that is about, what is May? May, that's about 6 months old. Is that right? May, June, July, August, September. No, about 4 months old. As you can see, it's floating. Let's look at another egg out of that bunch. Now these eggs have been hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. So, you know, I can expect this to happen, actually. From one that's been in the refrigerator for a long time. So let's crack one open. These are one of the floater eggs, and let's see what it looks like. Actually, not bad. I don't know if you can see really well. Let's see if we can get this egg in focus here. Actually, not a bad egg, even though it's floating. The egg yolk is still really firm. The white is a little runny. So as we've seen, a floating egg doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad egg. It just means it's an old egg. Proceed with caution. I usually look at an egg, and the egg white is the main thing. If the egg white is cloudy, that's kind of a sign to me that it's really probably not a good egg anymore. It usually, the older the egg, the more runny it gets. If it's still clear like the egg we saw, probably still a good egg. The yolk was still firm and intact. A bad egg, usually the yolk is just going to fall apart and just look nasty. So proceed with caution with that, and always, just use your own judgment on whether the egg whether you feel comfortable with it or not. If it smells fresh, that egg smelled fresh, it will taste good actually. Storing eggs, if you get an egg from me from the farm that's never been refrigerated like these, I would store these on my counter and use them from my counter probably up to 3 weeks at a time. Wouldn't bother me a bit. After about 3 weeks, I'm just more comfortable putting them in the refrigerator for the remainder of their time. If I have them last that long. I don't think I've ever had any last me that long sitting on the counter. But I know people who do. Once you wash an egg, it should go in the refrigerator. Once an egg is refrigerated, it should stay in the refrigerator. My saying is, once refrigerated, always refrigerated. Then a refrigerated egg will last, like you saw. If it stays in the refrigerator, I'll have to do that again and just put some in the refrigerator to let them stay and just see how long they will last and if they float like those others. The others that I had, like I said, they came in and out of the refrigerator. They were out of the refrigerator for 4, 5, 6 hours at a time and then back in the refrigerator. So that's kind of how those were. Saving eggs for a long time, there's a couple different ways to do it. One of the ways is called water glassing. Water glassing is a little more than like putting it in pickling lime, just like you would pickle pickles. The same stuff. You can buy the little packages. And I think they're like $2 and something cents. 1 ounce of that per quart of water, or you can go to your local hardware store and get what's called hydrated lime. And again, 1 ounce per weight into 1 quart of water, and take a fresh, unwashed, clean egg. Unwashed. I really want to stress that, unwashed. If you put a washed egg in there, you've washed the bloom off of the egg. The bloom is what is on an egg when it's laid by the hen. It protects the egg from bacteria and other things from getting in there. Once you wash that off, the egg is real porous. It's going to soak up all that lime and will probably be a really nasty tasting egg. But if you do that, like I said, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I'm going to run out of eggs here in the near future, even during the winter time when they typically slow somewhat. But if you'd like me to do that, comment down below and I'll do it. And we'll just see. we'll put some in a bucket, and we'll save them for 8-9 months, and then we'll crack them open and see what they look like. But if you take an unwashed egg, mix up that lime in your quart of water. Again, 1 ounce weighted ounce per quart of water, and then put your eggs in there, seal them up, put them in a cool place in your house. Doesn't have to be, you just don't want them in the sun, and leave them in there. And then when you run out of eggs, reach in, grab you an egg, wash it off, of course, and crack it open, and there you have an egg. I've done a lot of reading on it, and I've read 8 months, I've read a year, I've read 2 years. It wouldn't surprise me, but that's a good way to preserve your eggs. If you were in a situation where you didn't have any refrigeration and you wanted to save eggs that you had an abundance of for a period of time that you didn't have an abundance of eggs. So that's about all I have on eggs today. If you think of something else you'd like to know about the eggs, please let me know, and I'll try to do some research on it and get back to you on that. My next video is I'm going to show you a little bit about how and what I feed chickens. Normally they're just out eating bugs and whatnot, but the situation changes during the winter, so we have to adjust for that. So I'll show you that. I'll show you what I do and to feed the chickens during the winter. Until then, I'm gonna, I almost forgot. I'm gonna show you real quick. I made a little trip out to the chicken house and kind of looked at the Freedom Rangers, the meat chickens, see how they were doing today. So I'll share that with you. In the meantime, I'll see you this Saturday at the Keller Farmers Market. Make happy memories and enjoy the week. These are the Freedom Rangers. They're working on about 4 weeks old. I moved them in here. I really haven't determined where I'm going to build a permanent house for the meat chickens yet, but so now they're temporarily, these guys are going to be in here. But as you can see, they're really active birds, which I like. They like to roam around, so that's good.